Have you heard of South Korean horror film Sleep? I have not been able to get it out of my mind since I saw it on the official list for Letterboxd's top horrors of 2023. It got 8th place, but it wasn't available anywhere to watch for wide distribution. And that all changes this week when it hits select cinemas and VOD on the 27th. I was lucky enough to get a sneak peek and watch it early, and I have a lot of thoughts. Let's talk about it spoiler free, and I'll let you know whether you're gonna lose any sleep over this one. Straight off the bat, there is a couple of reasons why this film is very special, but the main one is the smooth yet dramatic shift in tone. Sleep blends lighthearted comedy with devastation. But unlike in other horror comedies, which we usually see this, it does so in a unique and jaw-dropping manner. The film follows the story of Hun Soo and Soo Jin, a loving couple supporting each other through their careers. Soo Jin is an executive and Hun Soo is an aspiring actor. Their sweet and supportive relationship seems perfect until strange events start to unfold at night. When Hun Soo enters a bizarre dreamlike state and Soo Jin begins to fear for her husband's mental health, physical safety, and eventually her own too. I get it, this plot does sound familiar, but I knew topping the Letterboxd list, there had to be a difference to it, and there is. But first, I need to break something to you. Soo Jin is also pregnant, which is exactly the stereotype people keep harping on. It's a cliche trope that is very much in fashion right now within horror, pregnancy horror. I can see why, and I do think it's a very valuable story to tell and something that a lot of people can relate to. So when we mix the sleep with the pregnancy, I wasn't too sure where this was gonna go, and I was really surprised because this film really puts its own spin on it, creating a very unique atmosphere. Sleep is initially set up like a cozy K-drama featuring warm tones and mood lighting, and of course that soft kind of focus and depth that we're used to. It starts with this beautiful, gentle music that really does feel like K-drama and romance, giving the couple that extra dose of sweetness that might push you over the edge, but it is really adorable. These characters are very likable, so don't worry. But before you know it, the film has taken a journey to somewhere completely unfamiliar. And by the third act, the atmosphere has truly turned on its head, but it does so in such a smooth manner. And what's so clever about this journey is how it places all the puzzle pieces. Some you'll discover along with the characters, and others you'll be 2 steps behind. And I liked this because it was the payoff that you craved, but also it wasn't really dumbing it down. It wasn't making the audience feel like they didn't understand what was going on. It gave you both kind of results at the same time. This creates a truly satisfying cinematic experience. The film both explains itself in a way that is satisfying to the viewer and leaves them gasping for more. And its glorious third act will stick with you. In fact, I think that they should have added a couple more scenes before the payoff, before the peak of the film. It would have added to the built tension, but I think catching the viewer off guard and surprised is probably what they were more so going for. I just feel like it can undersell the film. It's not underwhelming at all, but I think it really would have taken us that extra mile if it really lent into it. I'm in 2 minds about this because I do love when a film just shocks you out of nowhere, but also I like when it really leans into that heavily and the build and the tension is actually going towards a good payoff. Besides the warm tones, the film's cinematography evolves in fascinating ways. Initially, it's shot as a K-drama with the setting matching that tone. But as the film progresses, there's moments that breaks up this stylization with found footage and POV shots. This is to mirror the mental decline of the characters and the shift in their relationship. The cozy home transforms into something else entirely, and if you pay close attention, you'll notice the setting and the cinematography also follow that. They all work together with the script to transform into something else. But what sets Sleep apart from other South Korean horrors is its masterful blend of charming drama, comedy, and horror. While other South Korean films such as The Wailing are known for their blending of thriller and drama elements seamlessly, Sleep takes a new approach. It simplifies the story and leans into the romantic drama tropes we think we're used to, making us feel safe in this couple's small home, unaware of the horror that lies beneath. I know what you're thinking with the storyline. In these pregnancy horrors, we usually have the gaslighting husband, the baby that's somehow speaking through hallucinations to the hysteric woman, but this film resists those cliches. And while films like The Wailing are so masterful, if you haven't seen that film, definitely check it out, but they're so well done because they focus on the drama aspect as much as the horror aspect, giving it an equal journey and really showing that horror movies are just as good, if not better, than other genres. Sleep does that for romantic comedy K-drama, and it's not scared to go all the way. You probably do want to check the trigger warnings on this one. I don't want to say it. Actually, I'm going to leave it in the description. If you scroll right to the bottom of my description on this video, I'm going to put something in there because I know a lot of you guys like to go in completely blind, but I do think that some of you would like to know this. My point is, it's not scared to do its own thing. It doesn't have to do a comedy horror, which is slapstick and on the nose. It actually turns a romantic story about supportive couple into a complete horror fest that feels more realistic, even though it's shot in this K-drama, because it takes every single element seriously. Unfortunately, a lot of horror films with these themes of pregnancy horror or sleepwalking, they end up doing the same thing over and over, and they fall into the classic horror cliche way of presenting that. And when something diverts from that path, that's when horror shines. You don't have to have a fully original concept, but you have to approach it with intent, a soulful reason for telling the story in a different way. And I think that this film truly shows that. It pairs the typical presentation of a newlywed couple in a romantic drama with a slow burn decline, making the horror all the more shocking. And no one is easily villainized in this film. It tells a deeper story, a commentary on mental health and love. It really is simplicity at its best. Sleep is a heartfelt journey in every possible way, a fully realized picture that is simple but effective. And it's a film that will give you all the answers, yet will still leave you reeling. I have said this 100 times in this video, but I love the simplicity of this film. If anything, I thought it could go harder and it would have had a bigger impact, but I do appreciate its self-awareness and telling a story that is in a neat box, and this is really a satisfying film. That's why I keep using the word satisfying. I think that you'll really enjoy checking this one out. If you can see it in cinemas, I do recommend it. I'm gonna give this film a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I do think that it could have used a little bit more tension building up to the release, but it is a film I won't forget because of the third act. The third act basically makes this whole film. For originality, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I do recognize it still has all the tropes, but I did like the approach and this, especially the ending. And for scare, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 as well. It scared me. I think it was really well constructed. And what I thought was really funny is in my notes, as I was watching it, the first note I wrote is it was a cute and sweet couple. And the last note I wrote was it was terrifying. And that does not happen very often. So I think it's a really enjoyable ride. If you're looking for a film that is gonna scratch an itch you maybe didn't know you had, this one is for you. Check it out. And don't forget, I have a bunch of content on The Substance. I've done a spoiler-free review, and I've also done a breakdown of The Substance, the themes, little hidden moments in there. I promise there's one thing in there that you probably haven't thought about yet. Go check it out, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky, and sleep with the lights on maybe. Bye, friends.